Hello everybody. Now in this session we will just discuss again a few theoretical terms. Okay. So out of that, see here initially we will just begin with some definition and then later on we will just discuss some terms. Okay. So the first definition that we are discussing here in this session is Moore machine. Okay. So see Moore machine again during classification of finite automata we have discussed point that Moore machine and Mealy machine are finite automata are a example or rather types of finite automata with output. Okay, so let us discuss Moore machine here. See what they have given. It is a machine for which output symbol is associated with each state. Okay, so as I said earlier, in Moore machine as well as in Mealy machine, they are types of finite automata with output. So output symbol will be associated with each state. Okay, and at a given time the output symbol depends on present state of machine. Okay, actually in Moore machine, at given time output symbol is based on or depend on present state. Okay, while in case of Moore machine it is depend upon present state as well as current input. Okay, so how Moore machine is defined? See, Moore machine is defined by using 5 tuples. Okay, out of that few tuples are common again. Okay, which we have already discussed in case of DFA as well as in case of NFA. Okay, so this Moore machine is defined by using 6 tuple. Like, in fact, one extra tuple is there. Okay, in case of Moore machine. Okay, so first tuple is Q as usual. This represents finite set of states. Okay, then second is sigma. Okay, so we all are quite familiar with this symbol, that is input alphabet. Sigma represent input alphabet. Okay, then one extra tuple is there in case of Moore machine. So this is called as upper delta. Okay, this symbol is called as upper delta. Okay, so upper delta represent finite set of output symbol. So as I said earlier, in case of Moore machine we have to deal with output symbols as well. Okay, so in case of Moore machine, upper delta represents finite set of output symbol. Okay, now next delta. Okay, this is actually lower delta to be more specific. Okay, so in case of Moore machine, transition function delta will be like the transition function which we have discussed in case of DFA. Okay, so in case of DFA also we have discussed the transition function delta definition in same way, that is Q cross sigma tends to Q. Okay, but what is difference between DFA and Moore machine is in DFA this tuple was not there, that is finite set of output symbol. Okay, so this extra tuple is introduced in case of Moore machine. Okay, then next tuple is lambda. It will represent machine function. Again, this is a new tuple which is there in the Moore machine. Okay, this is lower delta which will represent transition function, while this is lambda which will represent machine function, or it is sometimes called as output function as well. Okay, and its definition is given from Q to upper delta. And what is Q? Q is a finite set of state and upper delta is finite set of output symbol. Okay, and finally Q0 is initial state. Okay, Q0 represents initial state. Okay, so this is definition of Moore machine. Okay, now let us discuss definition of Mealy machine as well. Okay, Mealy machine as well. Okay, so what description they have given for Mealy machine? It is a machine for which output symbol is associated with each transition, and at a given time output symbol depend on present input symbol and present state of machine. In case of Moore machine, what they have mentioned, at a given time the output symbol depends on only present state. Okay, but in case of Mealy machine, output symbol is depend on present state as well as on present input. Okay, Now again, Mealy machine is defined by using 6 tuple. Okay, so few tuples again are common. Okay, so first one is Q. It will represent finite set of states. Then second one is sigma. It will represent input alphabet. Then upper delta, which will represent finite set of output symbols. Okay, they are common, like they are already there in the Moore machine as well. Okay, then lower delta, which will represent transition function. Its definition is also common. Okay, Q cross sigma tends to Q. So okay, so transition function delta in Moore and Mealy machine will be same like transition function of DFA. Okay, and then sorry, then lambda is given next tuple, which is machine function or output function. Now in between Moore machine and in between Moore machine and Mealy machine, there is a difference in this transition in machine function. Okay, in case of Moore machine function or output function is given like Q tends to directly upper delta. Okay, but in case of Mealy machine function definition, lambda is given like Q cross sigma tends to delta. Okay, in case of Moore machine, it was like Q tends to directly upper delta. Okay, but here in case of Mealy machine, it is Q cross sigma tends to upper delta. Okay, and as usual, Q0 represents initial state. Okay, so this is about the definition of Mealy machine. Okay. Okay, so let us discuss next point here. Okay, that is regular expression. Okay, so here we will just discuss definition of regular expression. Okay, before that we'll just the revise some points that we have discussed in our earlier session. Okay, now see, in our earlier session we have discussed point that the finite automata accepts set of string over some alphabet. Okay, we have already discussed few examples of designing deterministic finite automata. Okay, how we design deterministic finite automata? For that, initially we require some set of string. Okay, we have to form language. Okay, so for example, see, we have discussed examples of finite automata of language whose string length is exactly 2. Okay, I hope you still remember that particular point. String length is exactly 2. So while designing that particular DFA, what we have done is initially we form a language, right? L is equal to, in curly bracket, we mention strings of length 2 only. So AA, BB, AB, BA was there. Okay, I hope you are able to recall that particular point. Okay, so that particular language, the language accepted by finite automata, that language is called as a regular language. Okay, here's the same description given. The finite automata accept set of string over some alphabet, and these strings are represented by using language, like as I said earlier, AA, BB, AB, BB, they are called as language, and that language is called as what? That language is called as regular language. Okay, so therefore the language accepted by finite automata is called as what? Is called as regular language. Okay, now see, here they have also given one example. Okay, so they have taken an example of the set of string over alphabet A comma B which ends with AB. So this is also one type of language. Okay, ends with AB means at the end there must have AB. Initially there can be any combination of A's as well as B's present. Okay, so in order to make this description more precise, here the regular expression concept is used. Okay, where regular expression concept is used whenever you are getting any language. Okay, any problem statement for language, like here the set of string over alphabet A comma B which ends with AB. This is an English statement which represents what? Which represents language. Or if you want another example, again as I said earlier, the language, suppose language contains all the alphabets of string length 2 only. So this statement we have mentioned in English, but that statement is representing what? language. Okay, so in order to make that particular language more precise, regular expression concept is used. Okay, now how regular expression is defined? See here formal definition of regular expression is given. So here see, regular expression is always defined over sigma. And what is sigma? I hope you all remember sigma. Sigma is nothing but that is input alphabet. Okay. Now they have mentioned some points in the definition. Okay. The empty set is represented by using phi. Okay. This is phi symbol. Okay. It is pronounced as phi. Okay. Then the empty string is represented by using this one. Okay, this point we have already discussed. It is called as what? It is called as epsilon. This symbol is called as epsilon. Okay, is a regular expression over sigma. Okay, always empty set and empty string is always a regular expression over sigma. Okay, means if you get empty string or empty set phi, then that can be treated as what? That can be treated as a regular expression over sigma. Okay, then next point is mentioned, every symbol small a belongs from input alphabet. Sigma is a regular expression. Means sigma means what we have discussed, it is a input alphabet, right? So it may contain a comma b, 1 comma 2, plus comma minus. So definition of sigma we have already discussed. Okay, there at that point we have discussed point that sigma is the input alphabet, and input alphabet can be anything. But mostly we have taken an example of small a comma small b in the input alphabet, right? So it's not the case like only small a comma small b present. Sometimes 0, 1 can be present. Sometimes plus minus can be present. It can be anything. Okay. So whatever symbols which are present in input alphabet sigma, all such symbols are also a regular expression over sigma. Okay. Initially what they have mentioned, empty set and empty string. Now what they are mentioning, all symbols from input alphabet sigma. Okay. Now next point they have mentioned is, if R1 and R2 are regular expression over sigma, okay, if these two are regular expression over sigma, then the following are also regular expression. If on sigma, suppose two regular expressions are defined, okay, like this, R1 and R2, then see, then R1 plus R2 plus indicates ring or alteration operation. This ring or alteration operation we will discuss detail later on. But if R1 and R2 are regular expression, then R1 plus R2 is also regular expression. Then R1 R2, this is concatenation operation. R1 R2, this is also regular expression. And R1 star, this is called as closure operation. This can be also called as regular expression. Okay, I want to repeat. If R1 and R2 are two regular expression defined on input alphabet sigma, then R1 plus R2, R1 R2 and R1 star all are regular expression. Okay, now I hope you are getting definition of regular expression. Okay, now let us discuss next point. Okay, that is closure properties for regular languages. Okay. Now, in our earlier point, we have discussed what exactly regular language is. What is regular language? The language accepted by finite automata is called as regular language. And what is use of regular expression? Regular expression are used to further, further perform some few operations in detail on regular languages. Okay. Now, as far as this point is concerning, here we have to discuss closure properties of regular expression. Okay. Now, let us discuss a few points they have mentioned here. See, there are certain operations on regular languages which are guaranteed to produce regular language. Okay. Its meaning is what? If we take any two regular languages and if we perform some operation on those two regular languages, then the result of those operations will be also a regular language. Okay, not all, there are few operations, such operations exist. Okay, so in such situation, the regular languages are said to be closed under such operation. Okay, if there exists suppose one operation, for example, here suppose union operation is there. Union. We all are quite familiar with union. Okay. In discrete structure, we have already discussed union, intersection, and so on. Okay. So I'm not going to revise that particular point. Okay. But if we take two regular languages, okay, suppose L1 and L2. Okay. And if we perform union operation on these two, okay, L1 union L2, okay, then whatever result that will get, that result will be also what? That result will be also regular language, and therefore union operation, this union operation is said to be closed under this L1 and L2. Okay, so such operations they have mentioned here. Okay, so they have taken two regular languages. First language is represented by using L and second is represented by using M. Okay, and then in such situation, following operations produce regular languages. Okay, so if we perform L union M, then that operation is called as what? Union operation, and whatever result that will get of L union M, that result will also represent regular language. Okay, so similarly, if we take L intersection M, then whatever result that will get, it will also represent regular language. Okay, then next operation, complement. Okay, so see, these operations we have already discussed in discrete mathematics. Okay, I hope you all are still remember these operations. Okay, then if we take L1 complement means how to calculate this? Universal set minus L, so we'll get L complement. Okay, so complement, if we take regular language L and if we take its complement, then its complement will be also regular language. Okay, similarly L minus M, difference definition, also we have already discussed in discrete mathematics. Okay, I hope you all are still remember that particular operation. Okay, so if we take L and M are regular languages, means what? They are set only. Okay, so if we take L minus M, then whatever result that will get, that result will also represent regular language. Okay, then reversal operation. Okay, so reversal means if this is a string A, B, B, A. If this is a string given, then its reversal string will be like from this direction. So A, B, B, A, A. So if this string is present in the regular language, then this string will be also present in regular language. Okay, then closure operation we will discuss in detail with the help of example in our subsequent video. So if L is a regular language, then L closure will be also regular language. And concatenation LM. Okay, so L concatenation M, after performing this operation, that whatever result that will get, that result is also called as that result will also represent a regular language. Okay, so usually see, they ask a short note on closure properties of regular language. So you have to write this statement and you have to just mention these operations, and finally you have to mention one statement. These operations, union, intersection, complement, difference, reversal, closure and concatenation, these operations are said to be closed under regular languages. These operations are said to be closed under regular languages. Okay, so this is the way, by using what you have to write answer for the short note. Okay, if question comes, then question will be only for 5 marks. So you have to just remember these operations. Okay. Okay, so here we will discuss one more point. Okay, that is decision property of regular languages. Okay, now see, again, as I said earlier, regular language, what is regular language, we have already discussed. Okay, now see, for what purpose decision properties of regular languages is used. See, sometime we need to know whether regular language has some properties or not. Okay, regular language has some properties or not. What is regular language? Language accepted by finite automata. Okay, so what are the properties that we have to check whether the regular language has those properties or not? See, whether we have to sometimes check whether regular language is empty, or whether it is finite, or whether it is regular or not. Okay, when language is not regular, when language is not accepted by finite automata, then that particular language is not a regular language. So what is use of decision property is, decision properties are used to check whether the regular language is empty, whether it is finite, or whether it is regular, or does it contain some particular string. So answers of these particular questions we will get from decision properties of regular language. Okay, now here see what they said. A decision property for regular language is an algorithm. Okay, it is one type of algorithm which will take the formal description of language, okay, and that will tell us whether that particular language holds some properties or not. Okay, now various decision properties for regular languages are there. Okay, so only three properties which are there, which we will use commonly. Okay, so those properties only we will just revise here. Okay, that is, first one is membership property, then second one is emptiness property, and third one is finiteness property. Only these three properties are important. Okay, as far as decision related concepts are concerning, associated with the regular languages. Okay, so first decision property of regular language is what? That is a membership property. And what this membership property tell us? Whether the string W is in L or not. If you get one input string and we have to check whether that string is present in language or not. Okay, then in that case that will be decided by using which property? That will be decided by using membership property. Okay, then second one is emptiness. This property will check, as the name suggests, whether regular language L is empty or not. Okay, this is phi mention. Okay, so when phi means, that is what? Empty state. Okay, so emptiness property will represent whether regular language is empty or not. And one more property is there, that is finiteness, and as the name suggests, it will just verify whether regular language is finite language or not. Okay, actually they have not yet asked question on decision properties, but you must know. Okay, again if question comes, then that question only will be for 3 or 5 marks. Okay, so you have to just write what is use of decision properties of regular languages, and then you have to mention these 3 properties along with their description. Okay, so this is all about decision properties for regular languages. Okay, so let us discuss next point, that is applications of regular expressions. Okay, see, regular expressions is used commonly, rather mainly in 3 different fields. Okay, in 3 different what I can say areas. Okay, where first one is, it is used for